If you're thinking about buying a used bike, I'm going to answer your top questions when it comes to buying a quality used bike here in Winnipeg. I'm Coach Rob from Olympia Cycle and Ski, and let's demystify used bike purchases in Winnipeg. First question, what should I look for when I'm looking at a used bike? So often, we're on our device, we're scrolling along and we're looking at used bikes and we're not quite sure what we're looking at. First thing we're looking at color and we're looking at price. Well, probably not the first place to start. Most people who are listing their bikes on a used bike market, they know as much about bikes as you do. Or they're a professional bike thief and they're trying to get rid of the things that they've stolen. So let's think. If you start at price point, say, well, I don't want to spend more than $300 on a bike. Well, if you put in that price range, you're going to get all the bikes and you still don't quite know what you're looking at. So let me make this very first suggestion. Find a friend who knows about bicycles. Text them the link that you're looking at. They will tell you quickly whether or not you're looking at something useful. And not somebody that you're intimidated by, somebody who actually knows. If you texted somebody here at our local bike shop, they would probably tell you quickly whether they thought that that was a good deal, a bad deal, or likely a stolen bike. We just see them all the time, so we just know, right? Like, you know stuff that you know about. I don't know about cooking. That's what my daughter is great at. I don't know if you've checked out Shenanigans, but whatever. She's really good at that. I'm not so good, so I ask her. Bikes, you can ask me about bikes, and we'll tell you. So that would be my first tip. If you're looking, get somebody who knows about bikes to answer that question. Now, how can you tell if a bike is likely stolen? Well, let me tell you. Wouldn't it be great if bikes didn't get stolen? That would be amazing, which we care deeply about here. And I know you might think, your local bike shop, well, they don't mind bikes getting stolen because they just sell more bikes. No, our bikes get stolen too. We like our bikes. We don't want them stolen. And if your bike gets stolen, you just have a magic bag of money show up that you can now buy a new bike? No, we all know that if your bike gets stolen, the insurance companies don't want to give you any money for it. And if they do, they give you not enough money to actually get what you want. So we don't like bike theft either. We want you to keep your bike, keep loving it. And when it's time to get rid of it, because it's time to upgrade or downgrade or whatever it is, then we want that to be your choice, not somebody else's choice. So, how can you tell if your bike is stolen? First thing you're going to do is you're going to flip the bike over and you're going to look for the serial number. Now, if it has been scratched out, it's been stolen. Now, maybe not the person you're buying it from, but somewhere along the line, this was somebody's bike. It was taken from them, and the person didn't want it to be traced back to them, so they scratched out the serial number. Where's the serial number? It's right underneath where the pedals go, usually. Some of the bigger, heavier bikes will have a serial number on the top tube, like by where the handles are, or some of our newer bikes, like our Giants, will actually have a UPC code under the clear coat of the paint, and it's really easy to find. If it's not there, you've got questions. Hey, another thing you can check is, does it have the same number of gears on the shifter as on the rear wheel? Just last week, guy came in with his bike. I think I need a new tire, he says. Well, yes, he did need new tires, but he had 7 gears on his front shifter, a 9-speed rear derailleur, and 8 speeds on his sprocket. What happens is bikes get stolen, they go to a big warehouse, they strip off all the parts, they swap them around to all these different bikes so that you cannot clearly identify your bike. it's what they do. It makes it really simple, and the fines and the penalties for stealing bikes isn't all that great. They're inexpensive things. It doesn't really matter. If they're toys, what difference does it make if your bike gets stolen? It's big business, and guys are making lots of money off of it. So a really simple strategy for ending bike theft in your city, in my city, stop buying stolen bikes. Look for those simple things. And if you're not sure, ask your friend who knows about bikes. You don't know, so don't think you can just figure it out by looking at it. And something you can do if you want to protect your bike is get your bike registered with 529 Garage. Every one of our bikes that we sell here gets registered at 529 Garage. For a $15 fee, we register them all, put on a simple shield. So this is a 4-pack, this is a 1-pack. It happens automatically. You get an email, you get to put photos in there, and if your bike is forcibly separated from you, you can tell the world, and the world will know to look for your very special bike. Maybe it comes back to you. Anyway, that's my rant on 529 Garage. Get your bikes registered. We may even put a link somewhere around here so that you can do that. All right. So people ask, well, what should I ask the private seller? We see bike comes into the shop and they're like, well, but the person seemed really nice. We talked about serial numbers. Ask about the serial number. You can do a quick check. You can log into 529 Garage and check the serial number. See if it's come up as a stolen bike. There's a federal registry of stolen bikes if people have recorded down their serial numbers. Ask that. That's a great question. If you ask it online and the person goes dark, chances are it's a stolen bike. I know, we're talking about buying used bikes and I'm talking lots about stolen bikes, but they go together. So pay attention because we want to decrease bike theft. We want to increase bicycle affordability. Buying a used bike can be a great experience if you know what you're looking for and you know what's going on. You might also ask them where they've had their bike serviced. For example, if you bring your bike into Olympia Cycle, we keep a record of all of your work orders, which means if you've had repairs done anytime over the last 4 years, we can go back and know what we did. We've also got a history of communication with you so that we know. So if a person is getting their bike serviced from a reputable shop, chances are they could get their service records printed and given to you. You could also look at the sticker on the bike, because when we sell a bike, or when a reputable bike shop sells a bike, they put their sticker on the bike. You could even call that shop and see if they know about the bike. Chances are they'll know something about it. They might even recognize it. Weird things have happened where a bike has been purchased online, brought into local bike shop, and the bike mechanic recognizes this bike, knows that that is not the owner, puts it up on the stand, calls the original owner just to confirm that is whose bike it is. So those are two questions. Ask about the serial number and ask about a service record and maybe what they've done to fix or upgrade their bike. What I would suggest is when you're buying a used bike, stick to the big brands. So stick to the Treks, the Specialized, Giants, Marins, bikes sold in bike shops, Cannondale, any of those big brands that are sold in bike shops is a great start, because then you know you're dealing with repairable quality. You're buying a used bike, you're gonna have to do some repairs. We regularly get asked, what is a fair price to pay for a bike? Now, lots of times in the used markets, people just arbitrarily set a price for their bike, or they go onto the Walmart website and they figure out what that bike of that color kind of sells for. They set an appropriate price. before you pay what the person is demanding, I want you to add $300 to the price of that bike. Why $300? Because that is the average price a person pays to get the things repaired on a used bike that they've purchased. And you get to $300 really quick if you need 2 new tires, the cables are rusted, if the chain is worn out, and if things just need to be tightened up and adjusted. It's not uncommon for us to see bikes go to $450, $500 just to get that bike back into riding shape. Which leads me then to the next question, is it better to buy a bike privately or from a bike shop? Well, let me tell you about our process for pricing previously pedaled bikes or pre-loved bikes. If you decide that it's time to trade up your very beloved bike, you'll bring in your bike, we wheel it to the back, and the mechanics will go through your bike to see which parts need to be replaced, what's good, and then they're going to go on to this magical site called Bicycle Blue Book and get an approximate resale value for that. Anybody can go on that site. It's not mysterious. What you will find is a price range based on the quality of the bike and where the bike is being sold. What we'll do then is we will guess the price that we think we'll be able to sell that bike for. Then we deduct the amount of repair that it's going to take. Say it needs 2 new tires and a general overall tune. So we're going to throw $200 worth of labor and parts into this bike. We think we can sell the bike for $500. That leaves us with $300. You get $150 in trade-up credit, and we get $150 when we sell the bike. It's fair. Nobody makes a lot, but now you're confident that we've taken care of your bike. You don't have to have the hassle of strangers coming into your home or having to meet them at the police station to safely sell your used bike or go to buy a used bike. So is it better to buy privately or from a bike shop? I think it really has to do with how much repair you can do yourself. Because when you're buying a used bike from a bike shop, we already do that $300 to $500 worth of repair on the bike because we're going to provide that 30 to 90 day guarantee warranty on your bike. We're going to make sure we take care of it with our Little Things warranty because we want you not just to have a bike, we want you to enjoy riding your bike. We're passionate about cycling and we want you to have a great experience whether it's a new bike or a previously pedaled bike. We've covered lots of things when it comes to buying a used bike. Please help us reduce bike theft. Don't buy stolen bikes. Don't have your bike stolen. Register your bikes with Garage 529. And if you're not sure, bring it to us. Ask us. We all ride bikes. We can recognize good deals, bad deals in the used market. And we can maybe help you find a previously pedaled bike here in store. All right, I'm Coach Rob here at Olympia Portage. We can't wait to see you here and get you on the trails.